Hello, everyone. Along with Job and Jarrett, I'm Coach, and we are honored to have the 2023 NCAA Division II 184-pound national champion from West Liberty University, Ty McGeary, with us here on the Pine Room Podcast. Ty, welcome to the Pine Room Podcast. Thank you very much for taking time and coming down and spending a few minutes with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, quite an honor. It's been about 2 weeks now. You're the 11th wrestler in the history of West Liberty University, West Liberty State College back. I think we've had a couple national champions at the state college level too, but You're the 11th champion. Tell a little bit about what an honor it is and what it felt like. We're going to talk a little bit about the matches as we go, but tell a little bit about what an honor it is to be a national champion, what the feeling's like, and what it was like to climb up on that podium and know that you're the best in the country at your weight class, hundreds and hundreds of wrestlers. Tell a little bit about the whole experience.
It's amazing. It's hard to put into words. I've climbed so many podiums where, you're just so close. You get third, you get anything, but nothing compares to first, because you look back and, you might make mistakes, but it doesn't matter because you won the tournament, you're a national champion, and it doesn't matter in the end of the day. So it's just a unique experience because, like I said, I've failed so many times. I was never a state champion. I was never a national champion. And to be able to this year just kind of pull through with that and, climb that podium, like you said, and just step on that top step, it's special.
Yeah, and when you went up there, what like I know we've won a couple state championships in baseball, and certain things go through your head when you say, wow, I'm really the best at state champion but what did you think when you were standing there? Who did you think of? Your parents? Did you think of your teammates? Did you think of all the hard work you put in? What were the thoughts that were really going through your head?
I don't know. There's so many of them, all the past failures, all the years that came to a close, all the tears, the blood, the sweat, all the times my family's been there and watched me kind of fail. I mean, they've always been proud of me, but I always just want to do more. So just everyone that was there watching me, my whole family, my girlfriend was there, my dad was there, my brother, my sister, just all the fans that were there to support me all weekend, and just kind of getting it done for them. And that I'm so grateful they were able to see it, and it was just awesome.
So the tournament where was the tournament again?
Iowa.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Yeah.
Yep.
So you go out there, your expectations are to win a national championship, but you're going to have a tough road. So you had to win three matches.
Four
Three
matches.
To get into the finals.
Three to get into the finals,
and then the finals. What along the way were there any of the matches that you felt during the match that you might not be able to win, like you thought you were in trouble, thinking you had to really dig in to win it?
Not necessarily. I wrestled smart matches. That the first match you kind of like to go out there and dominate because, being the 3 seed, you have an easier opponent. I had a close match that first round, and it kind of got in my head because I knew I needed to do more to win the tournament. But, that's kind of when you step back and be like, I won my first match. I have time before my second one. We had, I think, like 5 hours. So refueling, getting that rest in you. And, I felt a little better in my next match, and still a close match. And then I knew I had a tough opponent, the kid I lost to 2 weeks ago in my semifinal match. So, just kind of getting my head right for that. And I was a little down on myself. That's where all my fans kind of came in, all my family, telling me like they believe in me. They knew what I've been through. They knew how good I was. My brother, he's my biggest supporter. I after that first match, I was up there. I remember telling my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't feel the best. Like if I wrestle like that, I'm not going to win it. And my brothers could kind of tell I wasn't, happy with it. And he just kept telling me, keep your head right, because just one match at a time, like anything could happen. And I kind of, praise God, I kept my faith in Him. I had that blind faith. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I believed he was going to get me through the tournament, and I was going to win national championship. So I just kept praying, kept believing in myself, and step by step through the tournament, I got better and better.
And then the final match, you went up. Let's see, you went against
Logan Hall.
Logan Hall, yeah, and they actually. Did they finish second? They finished second. Yeah, they finished second. So you were seeded 3, I believe. You were seeded 3rd, and he was seeded 4th.
He was 4th, yeah.
And you said you had wrestled him before, correct?
I wrestled him like halfway through the year. I wrestled him down in South Carolina at Lander. So,
and tell us about that match, because I'm always interested to hear. First of all, you're getting ready for the championship match, and I know, like, when I announce championship wrestling matches, whether it's in the OVAC or the state or big dual matches, and I know the that hype to getting ready. Tell us about your thoughts, like just getting ready to take the mat, and then when they announce, and now from West Liberty University you run out there. Is your adrenaline like just maxed out, or is it just you're total just zoned in, concentrating, and just thinking about how you're going to win?
There's just so many emotions, and I used to be the kid. I would listen to music, I would pump myself up, and then I learned I wrestle better when I'm calm. So I listen to like Christian music, and I sit there and I kind of just pray, and that kind of helps me relax. And I see everybody else, jumping around. You can tell they're anxious, and I'm just sitting there. It helps me be more peaceful and kind of able to go out there and not work myself up. And that was working up until I walked out of the tunnel, and it was just everything hit me, and it's like, oh, like this is serious. Like, get up on that stage under the lights, everybody watching me, and you could like say I hop up on the stage, and I didn't know what corner to go to, because once I go out there was no one out there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So I look in one corner, I start walking right, I walk to the left, I finally found my corner, and I'm like, what do I do now? There's like my coaches are finally walking out, they sort of announced the other guy, and I'm walking around, I'm like, I'm ready to wrestle. Like,
you're ready to go.
It's there's a lot of emotions, and you really got to keep your mind right. It's mentally exhausting, because your mind wants to go to that place, like it wants to be weak, and it wants to tell you like, but you just got to stay ready. You go through it all, you got to stay ready. You can't have a weakness, because it'll show in the match. And
then so the final match went to sudden victory. How did you feel? Did you feel confident going into overtime? I mean, you had to be. I'm sure you were pretty drained, pretty exhausted. But do you get a sense that like of how your opponent is feeling? Do you feel like he's tiring? I can tell.
You definitely
he's tiring.
You definitely can, and a big part of getting tired is nerves. And when we were actually in line for the Parade of Champions or the Parade of All-Americans, you can tell he was nervous before the match, and he even came up to me. He's like, "Good luck." And you usually don't say that to your opponent unless you're a little scared of him. So, kind of from then, I was like, I got him. Like, I'm in his head. But once we got to overtime, I love overtime, because it's like you train day after day, and it's like you just need one takedown. Like, even in practice, like there's always more left in practice. There's always sprints, got to run extra takedowns. You get into overtime, you can go all out for one takedown, and once you get that takedown, it's over. The match is over. So I'm really confident in overtime, and I kind of knew like I had the energy to get a takedown. So I started coming after him. I knew he was a little bit tired, and I was giving it my all. I was either going out swinging, or I was going home with the trophy, and that's kind of what I did.
So I noticed when the match was over, both of you just went. You probably went on your back out of elation, but I'm sure you were tired. But he looked absolutely gassed. He looked exhausted. But when you were laying there, and were you like, oh, thank goodness this is over and I don't have to go any longer? Or was it just, were you laying there because of just like, this is unbelievable. I'm looking up, and I'm a national champion.
It was more of that, because you get that late in a match, you're that tired, you really don't have control of the outcome. Like, there's matches you'll have control of the outcome. You're in overtime and you're tired, you don't know what's going to happen. And in your mind, you're like, I just want this. I want that takedown. So I remember getting to his leg, and I remember going to finish, and I didn't think they were going to give it to me. And they finally held up too, and it was just relief. I felt in my back. I was like, I did it. It's over. It was just such relief.
Overtime kind of interests me. So is that like, because I don't know much about wrestling. I've never, like, do you usually have the same strategy every time? Like, you're going all out, like, or are you kind of more like patient? Do you sit back a little bit, or is it you're straight at him, like, let's go?
I'm always straight at him. I'm more of a neutral wrestler, so overtime you get 2 minutes on your feet. After that, you start going top and bottom. And I've ever since high school, I don't like top bottom. So I'm getting that takedown in 2 minutes, or I'm getting up that takedown in 2 minutes. So I just go all out for it.
Gosh, that would make me. Cause I played baseball, and I when you're hitting against a pitcher, it's you feel like you're on an island. But I can't imagine being out on a mat. The nerves with that. I impressive, man. Thanks. I appreciate you being here because it's impressive.
Yeah, it's cool, especially with everyone. Like you hear the chants, and you
That's what I was going to ask you about the crowd.
It's awesome. Like I never had that in high school. Funny story. I was actually first time going to States at my high school, and it was a Thursday. That was the first day of States. I'm wrestling on the mat, and my mom gets a call from high school, and it's like, "Hi, like your son's not in school today," and like they didn't even know I was wrestling. I'm like, I qualified for States, and they think I'm skipping class.
Oh my gosh!
I never had that in high school. I didn't have that support, so that's why I love West Liberty. We bring our whole team down. We're the loudest in the arena. They're chanting for you, and you hear that in the middle of the match, and it's like I want to pull through for the team. I want to pull through for all the fans. I want to make them have something to cheer for. So it's special.
Do all of the schools bring their whole team? They're like not
no. There's I'd say 3 or 4 bring their whole team. We had 8 qualifiers, so it usually the people with like 7 or more qualifiers, they bring their whole team, but no, not a lot.
Now you started it. Did you start at UPJ or Wheeling?
I started at UPJ.
UPJ, okay. And then tell us about the road to West Liberty, because I know at UPJ you were under former West Liberty wrestler, tremendous wrestler, Coach Pat Pecora.
Yeah.
And what a program they've had throughout the years. Tell us about the road, about why the moves to and then ending up at West Liberty.
I went to UPJ with my best friend from high school, just from youth, Jake Ely, and I really didn't like it there. It wasn't as much of a family aspect when it came to wrestling. I didn't know as much guys on the team, and I kind of I didn't like it, so I knew I needed change. So I ended up leaving after just one semester, actually, and going back home. And the next year, Connor Craig, Ty Warner, they ended up leaving too, and they were going to West Liberty. I remember Connor Craig called me up, and he was my practice partner at UPJ. He's like, listen, I talked to Coach Irwin. He's like, I need you there. I need a practice partner. We're going to do great things at West Liberty. And at that time, that was awesome to hear at my end, but I also wanted to go with my brother at Waynesburg. So I was kind of between the two, and it was a tough choice, but I knew I was going to push myself more. There was more of a high end if I went to West Liberty, so that's kind of what I ended up choosing, and I'm definitely glad I did.
And Coach Irwin, he's built quite a tradition now at West Liberty. I mean, he did a great job at Wheeling. Now West Liberty has gotten a national prominence. And talk a little bit about recruiting. What you like about his program and West Liberty and the team and the campus. What really attracts you to West Liberty, or someone else that I know you might have some guys that are coming to West Liberty, some young guys that you wrestle with or whatever. What is it about West Liberty now that it's turned the corner and it's like a national prominence?
I mean, first thing I noticed when I came here was the family aspect. Like I said before, I walked in and within a week I knew the whole team. I've had a conversation with every guy on the team. We do our team retreat and we kind of just do team building there, and we kind of we go through it all together. We have a lot of 6 a.m.s. UPJ, we didn't have any morning practices, and when you go through that pain with all these people, they really become your brothers, and you just go through it together, and it just brings you all closer. And now, you all just want to get better together. Now,
Coach Irwin, talk a little. He's always seems pretty low key to me. He seems like he's always. How about in the room? Does he ever get wound up? Does he ever?
He does. He is low key, but he'll get intense if he needs to get intense on us. No one. You can't disappoint him. You don't like disappointing him, so everybody just kind of gives their best because you don't want to disappoint him. You don't want to let him down, and it's just. He does so good. I do privates with him every week. He's big on just that one-on-one time. So, I do 6 practices a week, but I'm also, I have an individual with him where we kind of just grow off each other. You know, a lot of them are just, we kind of just wrestle around and, you know, pick each other's brains. I do this, and he's asking me why I did that, and then we're kind of just building together.
You talk about your teammates too, and I you know, you had 7 other teammates, I believe, with you out there.
Yep, we had eight total.
And you ended up with, how many All-Americans did you guys end up with?
We had 4.
4 All-Americans, and I'm sure Cole Lea was very disappointed, you know, that he wasn't.
Yeah, that was hard to see. Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of got caught, I believe. He got caught, and then he had a medical.
Yeah, he was winning up until the last 30 seconds and got caught in a real tight move, and he was fighting it for a good 15 seconds, and, you know, I think it was kind of choking him out. So I think he passed out, but that just kind of shows, you know, who we are. Like, we don't just give up.
Yeah, and then you had 2 other guys on the podium besides you and Cole. I bet that makes you feel really good to see your teammates also, because you seem like a real faith-oriented guy and a real team-oriented guy. Like, a team means a lot to you, your faith, your family, but to see your teammates also succeeding, I bet that makes you just feel really good.
It does, and shout out Alec Cook. He was All-American this year, my roommate.
Did he wear his cowboy hat at all out there?
He did not.
He didn't?
No. His picture was put up on Twitter and stuff, but he didn't wear his cowboy hat. But it's so cool to see the people you work out with every day succeed in their goals too. Like, not just yourself, but I remember I was in the stands for him. I wouldn't have missed that match, and it was a match. He beat the kid. He lost to the kid before, and, you know, anything could have happened. And just watching him pull through there, that was one of the highlights of my weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. And your family, your parents were obviously out there. How do they handle these tight matches? Like, we were talking about the match that what's his name got upset.
Spencer
Lee and his mother took her glasses and just crumbled them into a bunch of pieces. Does your mother get? Who's worse, your mom or your dad?
I'd say my dad. He gets super nervous. No matter who I'm wrestling, he's asking my brother, you know, like, you think he's got this? You think he's got this? My brother, though, he always defends me. He's like, I've seen him wrestle my whole life. Like, I know he got this. I believe in him. But, you know, my girlfriend, she picks her nails, and, you know, I come off a close match, and I'm like, I always ask them, like, is that exciting enough for you guys? Like, they're like, no, that was terrible. Like, I don't like the close matches, you know, but I can't always score a lot of points, but it was cool. You know, just to have 4 close matches, and it's not always what you want, but it makes it more exciting. And tell
us a little bit about your brother. You and he have quite a close relationship. You guys spent a lot of time in a room together, and probably even at home. You probably drove your mother nuts a little bit with banging on the walls and jumping on the bed and beating each other up. You and your brother seem to be very, very close.
Yeah, we've been through it all together. You know, growing up, he never let me win a single thing.
That's good.
That kind of what started my hatred for losing, you know. We'd play, we had a basketball hoop in our basement, and I would never win. I remember he got a concussion the one time. He was out for a couple months. You know, he was not in the best shape, and I remember I would just run circles around him until he got tired. I think I beat him one time, but, you know, just we kind of won it together because we've been through it all together. You know, it was cool. The COVID year, it got canceled. He was actually the 2 seed at the D3 tournament at heavyweight, and I was going down to watch him, you know, and it all got canceled. And that was really hard on him, really hard on me, because, you know, I want to see him succeed. And here we are 3 years later, we're back at Cedar Rapids, and I was able to pull through, and it just felt like it was for both of us, you know.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's a great story. You've had a wonderful career. You still have a year left, right?
Yes, I do.
And how do things look for next year for you guys?
Good. We got some guys coming in. Nico Taddy was actually from my high school, from my club. He's coming in next year. We had a lot of young guys. Kyvon make big jumps just from beginning of the year to the end of the year. Alec, you know, All-American this year. He's going to do a lot better next year. You know, we have a lot of guys looking to grow, looking to get better, so I'm excited for next year.
I think one of the guys that maybe went to West State just wrestled in the West Virginia Pennsylvania All-Star match last week. I think actually he was named MVP.
Ty Waters.
Ty Waters, yeah. Is he coming? He's coming to West Liberty, correct?
No, he's going to West Virginia.
Oh, he's going to WVU.
We were trying to get him to West Liberty, but, you know, he has big things ahead of him. 2-time PA State champ. Shout out to him. He won it 2 weeks ago. He's going to WVU. He's good. So I'm expecting big things from him there.
Well, that's great. Anything else, Jarrett? You want to?
I'd just say, what's your favorite thing about West Lib? Off the mat, what's your favorite thing about being at West Lib?
Dirty Dog's wings.
Dirty. That might be mine.
I don't know. Like there's not much going on. There's not a lot around, but we have the wrestlers, and we find fun things to do together, whether it be just hanging out, doing this or that, but just being able to we have a group message, you'd be like, hey, you guys want to do this, and you got 15, 20 guys willing to do anything, just finding stuff to do.
Okay, and I want to not end with this, but bring it to an end. So a young kid, he's got some potential in wrestling. It's going to be tough. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be bangs, bruises, cauliflower ears. So what advice would you give to a young kid that's coming up to pursue the goals that you've achieved?
Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your losses. Learn to enjoy the losses, because that just makes the win so much better. You're not always going to win. Enjoy the process, but when you do win, it's going to feel good, because the work you put in, the failures you had, and just being able to, like for me, it took me 15 years of wrestling, and just having all that emotion, all those failures come together, and finally able to pull through it. It's hard to put into words what that feels like.
Yeah, and then every time you come back to West Liberty after you graduate, your name is always going to be on the wall in the wrestling room as at least a one-time national champ, hopefully 2 times.
Yeah, they have those banners up there, and you see it every day. We have the 10 guys, and then there's a banner that says who's next. And every day you see that, and you're hoping it's you, and you're hoping it's you. And now being able to, I get the text like, what picture you want on your banner? And it's little things like that make you think like, I did it. Like no one's gonna be able to take this from me.
Never.
I might end my year next year on a loss, but I'm a national champion, and
you're gonna always be. And
that's cool.
And Ty brought his national championship trophy here along with, and I want you to tell a little bit about this. The most dominant wrestler. Tell about how you achieved that.
So that's like most bonus points. So like you can win a match close, or you get more bonus points for your team if you pin the guy or tech the guy. So throughout the year, you actually need 15 wins against people in your own division. And with me getting hurt, and I wasn't at 15 yet, and I remember they put up the list the 1 week, and I wasn't in it. And Coach Irwin was talking to me about it. He's like, I thought you'd be in the list this week. My one good friend was actually in first, and then the week before Nationals, they put it up, and I was in it, and I was in first, but it was by like a very small margin. And I remember going out, and my first 2 matches obviously were really close, and my friend, I think, pinned his first guy, and I was like, well, there goes that trophy. Like, I'm not getting that. But it really didn't matter at the moment. And then when they were starting to give out the rewards, I was waiting up there to take the picture of all the champs, and they were giving out the individual awards, and I saw them give out one like that, and I was like, you know what? I hope I win that now. Like, I want that now. Like, it didn't matter to me, but now that, like, my name might be in it, I want it. And I remember we're waiting, and I was waiting with Coach Tamok, and then they said, like, from 184 pounds, and I was like, let's go. Like, just like another thing, it's just cool because you can win a national championship, but, just being the most dominant wrestler in the tournament, because that kind of talks about who I am. Like, I'm not going to go out there and just win by a margin, even though I did at nationals. But usually my plan is, go out there, have fun, score points, make it exciting, and just have fun with it, because that's when you're really going to start to be successful.
Well, congratulations. That's where are you going to hang? Where's that going to hang? Where are your awards going to go?
I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I've been hanging, things up here and there. I got a big banner with all the names on it. I remember they hang them all up when you enter the arena. And we were walking the one day, and I was like, I want that banner. And Coach Tamok's like, well, if you win, you get it. And I was like, really? I was like, all right, bet I'll win it. And I won, and they handed me the banner. I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. But it's like 6 feet tall, so I finally hung it up in my room, and it like takes up half my wall. But that is cool.
That is job hand. Could you hand me that picture right there? And then we are going to have a souvenir here from Ty. We have a picture of him getting his arm raised as a national champion, and
yes,
he's gonna sign that to the Pine Room, and that's going to be one of the first pictures, one of the most infamous his opponent walking off dejected right there.
Good.
Yeah. And so one of the most infamous guests we've had some really good ones on, but we've never had a national champion. So we're honored. We're honored to have him. We're honored to have him just be a part of the Pine Room podcast. We gave him a T-shirt a week back. Hopefully he wears that and supports the Pine Room podcast. And hopefully, folks, everybody gets to watch this and see what a great guy he is. And just want to congratulate him, and just an honor to be a national champion.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
yes,
hopefully he's back here next year.
Yeah,
same thing.
We'll save the seat, and
I'm ready for it next year.
We'll have wish you the best of luck, and we'll be following you. I'll be announcing the matches up there, and I'll be excited to say the defending national champion. I've never gotten to say that. I've gotten to say defending state champ, but never defending national champ.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, it's thank you, Ty, very much. We appreciate it. So that'll wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, with the 184-pound national champion from West Liberty University, Ty McGeary, on behalf of Jubb and Jarrett, this is Coach signing off for the Pine Room Podcast.
Well, it's that time. The coolers are empty, the food's all gone, and the games are over. But that's all right. There's always next week. Follow us on social media to keep up to date with future shows, and send any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss to contact@thepineroompodcast.com. Until then, we'll see you here next time in the Pine Room.